This has been the most requested video in over a year, but it always felt a bit too personal to share. But now that I've gotten a bit more confident in front of the camera, I hope to be able to inspire people with my story. So for those who are new, my name is Marian, also known as Swizzy in Singapore, and I moved from Zurich, Switzerland to Singapore 2 years ago. That I'm still here was actually never the plan, and I'm supposed to be back in Switzerland already. But more on that later. Maybe we just start from the beginning, how it all started. I had graduated from University of Zurich with a master's degree in political science when my boyfriend at the time asked me if I wanted to join him on an adventure. Working for a consulting company, he had the opportunity to work abroad for 1 or 2 years, and options were Sydney, Hong Kong, and Singapore. And for me, it was actually the perfect timing because I didn't have a job yet in Switzerland, and it has always been my dream to live in Asia. Growing up, I was very lucky that my parents took me and my brother to various vacations in Southeast Asia like Thailand, Malaysia, Bali, and Vietnam, but actually never Singapore. Researching Singapore, it already sounded perfect to me, so fast forward, we moved to Singapore in November 2022. Finding a job in Singapore, or should I say, not finding a job in Singapore. To be honest, I was pretty confident in finding a job as my master's is a really good degree, and with my previous work experience as well as extracurricular activities, I was so confident that I could just find a job very easily. But not in Singapore. I made over 65 applications. I'd even started back in Switzerland, but I wouldn't even get interviews. Oh my God, I was so frustrated. I even started to apply for jobs I was way overqualified for, but no luck. So at the same time, in around February 2023, I had just started my new Instagram account to show my friends and family what I was up to in Singapore because I was so fascinated about the food scene and everything that this place has to offer. So that was mainly the reason why I started to create videos in the first place. That is also when Swizzyinsg was born. So Swizzyinsg, my username on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, stands for Switzerland, Swizzyinsg in Singapore. Because as mentioned, Singapore fascinated me from the moment I arrived. I think I fell in love the minute the plane landed on Changi Airport. So I posted a lot of food videos in the beginning because especially hawkers, they've really fascinated me with their cheap and super tasty local dishes. When I realized how much I enjoy content creation, I started to watch a lot of YouTube videos about the world of social media. And this is where I found an online coaching program, which I signed up for. That was called the Creator Mentorship Program. In this program, I learned everything about social media, basically how the algorithm works, how different platforms work, how you have to produce content that it reaches a lot of people, how to make it interesting. So that was really one of the reasons, looking back, why I was able to grow so fast in the first place. And I spent a lot of money on that program. I spent around $9,000 for the whole program, which was 9 months long. And honestly, it felt like I was back at uni because you had 3 to 4 calls a week, and I even had a personal coach, which was luckily based in Singapore, which was such a coincidence. He knew what Singaporeans liked and disliked and what content would be interesting for Singaporeans. Working with my coach helped me so much to be consistent, and I've actually posted a video almost every day since I started the program. I think there were only 10 days in almost 2 years now where I have not posted a single video. Even though it is a lot of money, honestly, it is the best investment I've ever made. And as soon as I realized that, okay, there is money in this industry, and I talked to other creators, I realized this can be a full-time job. So I got really hungry for this. So growth was very fast, and I realized that there is money in it. But since I didn't have a work pass, I was not able, or I was not allowed to earn. Not yet. So next topic is the breakup. In the meantime, things with my boyfriend at the time did not go very well. He did not like Singapore at all, and he told me that he wanted to go back to Switzerland. At that moment, when he told me that he wanted to move back, honestly, my world collapsed, and weeks followed where I cried myself into sleep every night because the thought of having to leave Singapore, move back to cold Switzerland was just almost unbearable. I realized how happy I was and how incredibly I felt that this was my new home and that I feel like I belonged here. So things got worse and I broke up with my boyfriend, and until now, I will be forever grateful for him that he even brought me to Singapore and everything he did for me. He always treated me like a princess, but I just realized that we just wanted different things from life. So more specific in how we wanted to, spend our days on a day-to-day life. And he really wanted to go back to Switzerland, which I didn't want to. He missed our old life. And I've started to create my own new happy place with the activities I liked, with the new friends I made. He really wanted our life back, which I did not. I started from scratch here in Singapore and was so happy with how I structured my weekend and my free time, which was a lot more active and diverse than in Switzerland. So yeah, I mean, it was super hard at that time, but it was for the best. So now that I knew that I wanted to stay in Singapore, I finally had to get a work visa to make my own living, because I still had savings for up to a year that I knew, okay, I can be in Singapore without earning money, but that year had come to an end very fast. So I definitely needed to earn some money. And that's where I incorporated my own private limited, Swizzy Private Limited. And the reason was that with having an own company, that company sponsored me, Marian, as an individual, an employment pass. And that allowed me to work full-time as a content creator and earn money. This is a topic for a whole video itself, so let me know in the comment if you're interested in how to become a self-employed content creator in Singapore, with a legal work pass. Let me know in the comments. And trust me, this sounds very easy and straightforward now that I'm explaining it to you, but the struggle was real, and I have stopped counting the amount of mental breakdowns I had during this process. You have to imagine, I was here in Singapore, so far away from my family and close friends. My ex-boyfriend had already relocated back to Switzerland, and I had no fixed income. I had not even an apartment at that time. So the whole decision to stay in Singapore all on my own was probably the bravest decision of my life, but also the best decision of my life. Even though I struggled a lot and I was so close of giving up many times, Singapore reminded me every single day why it was worth fighting for my dream to stay here and work as a full-time creator. So here I am, living in Singapore, actually living really my dream life with my dream job. Of course, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. So a huge thank you to each and every one of you who have been supporting me along my journey. There is still so much to share about my journey, what happened after I finally got my EP, and how fast I was able to make a living. If you want to know how this story continues, let me know in the comments and I will record a part 2. And on Instagram, my main platform, I share a lot more about my life in Singapore with lots of tips, recommendations, behind the scenes content. And in this video next, I show you how Singapore has changed me already. Thank you again for the support, and I see you in the next one. Bye!